Hey everyone, welcome back to the Book Cave with me, Jenny. So I do want to apologize in advance for parts of this video. The audio is going to be a little different. Obviously, as you can see, I just got a microphone, but I didn't decide to make this into a video until I read the first book that I'm going to talk about. But I decided to go ahead and do a kind of cozy fantasy / cozy fiction vlog, as I did wind up with quite a few of them, and these are actually also all going to be non-physical books. So yeah, I'm just going to dive right into the first book. So the book I just finished is The Vanishing Cherry Blossom Bookshop. This is translated from the Japanese, and I will say honestly, this was the perfect time of the year to read it. Obviously we're in April, and it has just started warming up where I live, and the cherry blossoms are out, and this kind of brought all that nostalgia in of, the changing of seasons, the warming up of everything, and just the kind of new beginnings. And also, this is definitely a book that has a lot of healing in it, and it follows 4 different stories of these people that all have something in their past that they either want to know or they want to let go, they want to come to terms with. And this Cherry Blossom bookstore helps them with that. And honestly, the second story was the one that I felt the most, one of the ones that hit me the most, just because it's something that I have seen a lot, unfortunately, and something that just always affects me when I do read about it. If you read this book, you should pretty immediately understand what I'm referring to, but obviously I don't want to have too many spoilers in here. But yeah, this is one that I definitely recommend if you like cozy literature, translated literature. Also, if you're just a book lover in general, which if you're watching this channel, obviously you probably are. But this is definitely also one for the book lovers. And I just feel like that is quite an interesting twist with this story. I started the Rover powered audiobook series, and I absolutely love these covers, and I think it is just a very, very cute story, and the author's note has already said that's basically what it is. Like, there will still be trials and everything for them to go through, but everything will be, basically fine in the end. And I absolutely love Wanda and Wumble, and I love that name. I don't know why that name just tickles me so much, but I find it an extremely cute name. And the fact that he's a corgi, I love corgis. I've never had one, but I love the way they look, and they're so cute. And yeah, this is kind of a lit RPG / progression fantasy, and I feel like it does really well of laying out the groundwork for the world and learning how everything's going to work and giving us enough history that we kind of know what's going on. But yeah, it is just a really good balance, and the fact that we're following them from the very start, and that Wanda came from humble beginnings, kind of lends itself to that type of world building really, really well. And yeah, I'm definitely excited to read more. These are all short. 1 and 2 are like 3 hours, 3 hours exactly. And then 3 and 4 are like 2.5, I believe, hours, 2.5 to like 2 3/4. So it's something that I feel like I can definitely get through relatively quickly and enjoy my time with it. And yeah, this is another one that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens with Wanda and Wumble next. Overpowered 2 picks up right where the first one left. We follow Wanda and Wumble as they join a class on becoming an alchemist. And one thing I really like about this is the fact that even though they are overpowered, Wanda still has some struggles. Like, they're making a potion, and she struggles with it the first time, or, well, I should say the second potion. There is an ingredient that is very alluring, very enticing, and she succumbs to this and is unable to see the teacher preparing it, and so she has to go by the written directions. And I also just love like the way her process is described. She's described as basically mock doing whatever it is before she actually does it, and just the respect she has for even the plants. She said, I must treat them correctly, use them to their fullest extent, because otherwise it's wasteful, and I don't want to waste the gift that these plants have given us, basically. So yeah, this is a really fun series, and it's pretty obvious to me that at some point somebody is going to say something, and she's going to realize just how overpowered she is. And I do like as well that although she is overpowered, why she can't access it completely, it also makes sense. It's not outright stated, but it does make sense to me that, like, there are certain things mentioned, and it's like, oh, okay, so her body's physically not strong enough, so it, like, blocks her from using the whole power. And I will be starting number 3 this evening. I do wish 5 was out, because these don't take long at all, but I would definitely be starting 3 this evening, probably finish it tomorrow, and then start 4 tomorrow, finish that the next day. But yeah, like I said, I'm having fun with these and looking forward to that. Overpowered Volume 3 follows Wanda and Wumble basically picking up from where number 2 left off. They succeeded in the class that they took there, and so now their next step was to find a group so that they could basically go to different areas where they needed more people, and then also have people that could protect them and just have companions. And so I kind of like the little oddball companions here, and we're getting more of different creatures, different races. We have Dwarfkin in this one, and they are kind of kin to stone. And yeah, that was an interesting little thing. And then we also have the, I think they're elfkin is what they call them, but I cannot fully remember. That was more in the last book, but in this one we kind of have our little mismatched crew. They are all odd in their own ways. And another thing I really like is that even though Wumble is overpowered, he cannot access all the power necessarily, and neither can Wanda, because they are still only in their base phase. And he could access more if they go to their attunement phase, but we do get a little bit from his point of view, and it turns out that if he was to force that, that then Wanda would be stuck at a lower level, because you have to like naturally progress. And so I kind of really like that even though they are overpowered, Wanda's not aware of it, one, and then two, they are, but they can't access it yet. So it feels like a very natural progression throughout each of the books. They are very cute. They are definitely on the simpler side, but I feel like they just work really well, and they are short enough that there's nothing can get annoying. Like, I do feel like if they were longer, that some of the simplicity would get annoying, but it works for as short as they are. The simplicity gets the point across, and the world is slowly taking form. It gets built very piece by piece, and I love the fact as well that Wanda is kind of new to being a wizard, and so the explanations we get, she is also getting, and so it doesn't really interrupt the flow, because it's kind of like, obviously she would ask things about Dwarfkin because she's never met a Dwarfkin. In her small village, there were none. None ever came through. And so, that's just one example. And there's many others that it just works. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to get on to number 4. And I know there's at least one more, but of course number 5 is not out yet. And I'm not sure when it comes out, but I'm definitely looking forward to continuing this. Rover Powered 4 takes us back into the city of Calamas, and this was a pretty action-packed one. We get a huge battle here. I feel like the other ones didn't feel as high stake when we got to the battle part, but this one really did. And we also get some advancement with Wanda and Wumble, which I really liked. And I do enjoy seeing their character throughout the series, and they stay more or less the same, but you just get to see how compassionate Wanda is and how much Wumble cares for her. And just overall, I do really enjoy this. Like I said with the third book, I feel like the shortness works very well because of the style it's written in, that it's kind of like little snapshots. And then, although we do get character work, we don't get a whole lot. And it's also just very simply written. And I feel like it just works to be short, like I said. And I'm really excited for number 5. As I said last time as well, I still have no idea when it is coming out. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to listening to more of this. And let me know if you've read anything similar to this. I'm definitely interested to look into more about it. The Rainfall Market is a cozy Korean fantasy. I have not read too many Korean ones. Most of the ones that I have found have been translated from Japanese and have taken place there in Japan. I will say this one, unlike the other one I read, which was Marigold Mind Laundry, this was much more of a story, whereas Marigold Mind Laundry was more interconnected short stories that didn't have quite so much of a plot. I did really enjoy this, though. It was a little more high stakes than the what was it? The Vanishing Cherry Blossom Bookshop. Although that one did have some stakes as well, we found out in the end, but I did feel like they were a little lower for some reason. But this follows Saren, who has heard this story about a Dokukabi, or goblin market, that is only open during the rainy season. And supposedly, if you can get an invitation here, you can go through and you can find a different, hopefully better life. And she is having some troubles. She is very poor. Her father had passed away. Her mother works at a rather monotonous, low paying job, and the building they are in is scheduled for demolition, but they don't really have anywhere else to go, which is the same for most of the other tenants. As well as Saren's sister Urine has disappeared. She's run away. And we find all this out very quickly, but that is kind of the life she's coming from and wants to find something better. She dreams of going to college, obviously cannot afford it. You know, she has all these different dreams, and I really enjoyed this. It is, in a way, kind of episodic. She basically is able to look into these lives that the Kokobi orbs would give her and decide whether or not she wants them. And so as she finds them, we get a glimpse as well. And I actually did really like that. And I felt like it kind of had a lot to say about, you know, what's really important in life. And this also had a great friendship in it. I really did enjoy the adventure as well. But if you enjoy the cozy fantasy genre, I do believe this is another one you would like. So that's everything I have for you today for my reading cozy fantasy vlog. I really did enjoy all of these. They definitely all fit the cozy vibe. It was very fun to read them over April and May, kind of, you know, getting into spring. And this was the perfect little launch pad into that. And yep, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe. That way you'll be notified every time I post a video. And as always as well, feel free to let me know in the comments, have you read any of these books? Are you going to read any of them? Do you like cozy fantasy? What cozy fantasies have you been reading? I always love seeing what you all have been reading in the comments. And I will see you next time in the book cave.